I'm Viola Davis, and I'm reading Rent Party Jazz, written by William Miller and illustrated by Charlotte Riley Webb. Every morning as the sun was coming up, Sonny went to work for the coal man. "I sells my coal 2 bits a sack," the coal man cried out as he drove slowly down the street to the French Quarter. Sonny wished he were back in his warm bed. He knew how badly he and Mama needed the extra money. Even though he would spend the rest of the day in school, Sonny started the day like a working man. Sonny's job was to jump down and drag the sacks into the alleys, then shovel the coal down the chutes. He made 10 cents a day, 7 days a week. His mother worked in a fish canning factory. All day long she packed fancy little fish, earning a penny for each can she filled. When Sonny and the coal man drove through Jackson Square, they would hear trumpet players blowing their horns. The musicians played any tune people wanted to hear, hoping listeners would drop a few coins into their hats. One morning, Sonny came home to find Mama sitting at the kitchen table. She looked like she had been crying. "What's the matter, Mama?" Sonny asked. "Are you sick?" "Worse than sick, Sonny. I've been let go from my job. These are some hard times and folks aren't buying much fancy fish. Might be 3-4 months before they need these hands again." Sonny's heart sank. Rent day would be coming soon, and the rent man didn't care whether you had a job or not. All he wanted was his money. If they missed paying the rent by just one day, the rent man would change the locks and sell off their belongings at a public auction. "I'll get a second job, Mama," Sonny said. I'll quit." "No, Sonny," Mama interrupted. "I got 2 weeks to find something else. You stay in school and learn everything you can, everything, so things will be better for you." After school that day, Sonny wandered through the streets of the quarter, tired and sad. There had to be something he could do to help raise the rent money. In Jackson Square, a huge crowd had gathered around one man playing his horn. Even from the back of the crowd, Sonny could hear how fine the music was. And no wonder the music was so good, so sweet, so clear. Everybody in New Orleans knew about Smiling Jack. He had played his horn all around the country, even in the great jazz clubs up north. Smiling Jack looked like the happiest man in the world, blowing his magic horn, collecting bucketfuls of coins. He seemed so happy, Sonny felt even worse about Mama and the rent money. The next day and the next, Sonny found himself back in Jackson Square after school. Smiling Jack's music was too good to ignore. Sonny always stood toward the front of the crowd, though he still felt too sad and worried to clap or sing along. On the 3rd day, Sonny stayed until the music was over and people began drifting from the square. "Hey, young man, what's your name?" Smiling Jack asked as he stepped down from the platform. "Sonny, come on, sir. You need a special tune, Sonny? You looking mighty down. Sure wish I could get those hands clapping." "I love your music, Smiling Jack," Sonny said, "but a tune won't solve my problems." "Problems? What kind of problems does a boy like you have?" Sonny explained about his mother losing her job, about the rent man who put them out on the street if they missed paying the rent. Smiling Jack suddenly looked serious. "Back in Mississippi, where I come from, they did the same thing to colored folks all the time. But then we found a way to fight back. Pay the rent man, had the world's best party at the same time." "How'd you do that?" Sonny asked. "All the neighbors got together and threw themselves a rent party," Smiling Jack said. "They baked sweet potato pies, fixed up some catfish and greens, then brought the food to the house where help was needed. They put out a big empty bucket too, and soon someone who knew how to pluck a fine banjo or blow a jazzy horn would start playing, make people sing and dance and forget their worries for a while. By the end of the night, people had dropped enough money in that bucket to put the old rent man back in his place." "That sounds like a mighty fine idea," Sonny said. "But where am I gonna find somebody who'll play for Mama and me? Play for poor people he doesn't even know?" Smiling Jack faked a frown, tapped his foot. "Some people say I play a pretty mean trumpet myself." For the first time in days, Sonny smiled. When Sonny got home, he found Mama sitting near the stove. "No luck again today, Sonny," she said, "but I'll keep looking. I'll find me that job to keep us going." Sonny stirred the coals with a poker, trying to warm the damp room. "Maybe you won't need that job right away, Mama," Sonny said. "We're gonna have a party tonight. raise all the money we need for the rent. Every last nickel and dime. Smiling Jack told me how to do it. Don't be talking such foolishness, Sonny. Even if you're trying to cheer me up, Mama said, pulling her shawl tighter around her shoulders. It's not foolishness, Mama, Sonny insisted. I'm gonna prove it to you. Sonny knocked on all the neighbors' doors, told them about the party and asked them to bring whatever food they could spare. He told them to get ready for the best music in the world. They were all gonna meet the great Smiling Jack. On his way home, Sonny found an empty bucket in an alley. He put it on the floor just inside the doorway and sat down beside Mama to wait. Mama shook her head thinking her poor son had just plain lost his mind. A little while later, Sonny and Mama heard cheering and clapping in the street. Then someone knocked loudly on the door. Mrs. Comeau, I sure am pleased to meet you, Smiling Jack, trumpet in hand, bowed to Mama. Well, I thought my boy had gone full moon crazy, Mama said, hardly believing her eyes. I sure love your music, Smiling Jack, I surely do. Before Mama could say another word, Smiling Jack pulled the bucket toward him, raised his trumpet, and started blowing one of Sonny's favorite songs, Bourbon Street Rag. The house and the street were soon filled with people. There was more food than Sonny had ever seen at one time, enough for everyone who was busy clapping and singing and dancing. All the neighbors had come to the party. Sonny saw the LeBlanc twins running through the crowd, and he saw the oldest woman in the neighborhood, Mrs. Clairvaux, sitting in a chair, tapping along to the music with her cane. Just one thing bothered Sonny at first. He heard only a few coins drop into the bucket. But as the night went on and the party started heating up, he heard more and more and more. At last, Smiling Jack stopped playing. Then without any music, he started singing. When the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, oh, I love to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in, boom, 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 boom. The whole crowd joined in, singing the verses and the beautiful chorus. Sonny felt like he was in another world, a place where the music and the singing he loved would never stop. When everyone had left, the bucket was brimming with coins. Mama counted all the money they needed for the rent and handed the rest to Smiling Jack. I thank you much, Smiling Jack, she said. I took what I need to see us through. This belongs to you. Smiling Jack shook his head. No, ma'am. That money belongs to anybody who needs it for rent or food. I've already been paid. This was the most fun I've had in a long time. Wherever I go from now on, I'm gonna play at least one rent party like this. We'll show those rent men how good folks help each other. Sonny walked Smiling Jack back to Jackson Square. Thank you, Sonny Comeau, for one of the happiest nights of my life, Smiling Jack said. I sure hope to see you next time I come to town. I know just where to find you now. They shook hands and hugged like old friends. Sonny walked home slowly, wishing the night would never end. He was glad he had listened to Mama. If he had quit school and taken a second job, he would never have met Smiling Jack. Never have learned about bringing the neighbors together for a rent party. They made him think about how much people could do for one another if they put their minds and hearts to it. Sonny figured he would stay in school and learn everything in his books and lessons, and maybe, just maybe, he'd learn to play the trumpet too. Beneath the bright glow of the street lamps, Sonny swayed back and forth, pretending he could blow a mean horn. I love rent party jazz because African American characters are the focus of the story. It's about jazz and it's about people helping one another. Great message. I grew up in Rhode Island and I could have used a rent party with some jazz music and cornbread.
Ain't no justice, just us. Ash to ashes and dust to dust. Time has come for most of us to choose in which God we trust. I know I was born to die, to search to find a peace of mind. With 85, stubborn and blind, there can be no compromise. Off this line, yeah, won't divine. Wine is wine, kill is crime. Watch us all, stand in line. Phone slice up the devil's spine. Drugs and thugs, women wine, 3 or 4 at a time. Wait a minute, let me think about slice up the devil's spine. Shit, everybody out there, get down with phone slice up the devil's spine. Phone slice up the devil's spine. Little woman in the street, sell her up from body parts. Phone slice up the devil's spine. Killing each other in the streets for slice of the devil's spine. All in line, all in line. Phone slice of the devil's spine. Yeah, all in line, all in line. Hear me though, slice of the devil's spine. All in line, all in line. What? Phone slice of the devil's spine. Yeah, all in line. I don't give a fuck, I ain't going out for slice of the devil's spine. Yeah.
San Francisco? Oh man, I'm gonna tell you about San Francisco. San Francisco ain't did it. I mean, ever since I got out of high school, I had a couple of jobs. I worked at a couple of hatch companies and warehouses. I mean, after a while they say, well, I guess we're gonna lay you off for a couple of weeks, you know. Alright, they talk about the South. The South is not half as bad as San Francisco. You want me to tell you about San Francisco? I'll tell you about San Francisco. The white man, he's not taking advantage of you out in public like they're doing down in Birmingham. But he's killing you with that pencil and paper, brother. When you go to look for a job, can you get a job? Can you get a job, Winkle?
This is the San Francisco Americans pretend does not exist. They think I'm making it up.
National Educational Television presents Take This Hammer. This is a film report on a visit to the city of San Francisco by the novelist, essayist, and playwright James Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin's guide on this tour of the city is the Executive Director of Youth for Service, Orville Luxford. The drive from the airport into any American city looks pretty much the same. You could be anywhere. For James Baldwin, this similarity goes deep. On the drive into San Francisco, Baldwin began talking about the increasing bitterness, demoralization, and despair of Negro youths in northern cities. And it was decided that we would explore the existence of such attitudes and conditions in the city of San Francisco, with its widely advertised liberal and cosmopolitan traditions. Baldwin also talked about his concept of dues paying, or living up to one's responsibilities, and commented that many Northerners seem to feel that because they do not live in Mississippi, they are somehow paying their dues.
I think the truth is that everyone, on the one hand, is fundamentally capable of paying his dues. But no one pays his dues willingly. You know. And the white man, like the black man, like any other man on earth, can pay his dues if he realizes that that's what he's got to do. As long as you think there's some way to get through life without paying your dues, you're going to be bankrupt. The bill has come in. It's not coming in. It is in. And the great question now is precisely what we've got in the bank. This, of course, is everything we think we have. Everything. And Birmingham is an incident, you know, which may become a shrine. What is really crucial is whether or not the country, the people in the country, the citizenry, are able to recognize that there is no moral distance, which is to say no distance, between the facts of life in San Francisco and the facts of life in Birmingham. One's got to call, one's got to tell it like it is. And that's where it's at.
Oh, I said I wasn't gonna tell nobody, but I
My, they have a new expression along the Harlem way that tells you when a party is 10 times more than gay. You say that things are jumping, leaves not a single doubt. Watch all these cats, watch everything when you hear somebody shout. This joint is jumping, really jumping. Come in, cat, check your hands. I mean, this joint is jumping. Piano's thumping, dancers are bumping. Every Moses on his toes, in fact, the joint is jumping. Check your weapons at the door, just pay a quarter. Burn your love around the floor, grab anybody's daughter. The roof is rocking, the neighbors are knocking, but we're all bums when the wagon comes. Let it leave, yeah, send it, Jack, send me, Jack, come on, love it. Oh, yeah, get that boy drink over there, he's all right. Fine lad, yeah, Oh, what's that? Fine people, yeah, No, son, that ain't the play, no. Just leave that chick, that's my role. Take it, Miss Johnson, take it.
This joint is jumping.
Yeah.
It's really jumping.
I know it.
Come in, cats, and take your hats. I mean, this joint is jumping.
Yeah.
Piano's thumping, dancers are bumping. Every Moses on his toes. In fact, the joint is jumping.
Tell 'em about it.
Take your weapons at the door. Now be sure and pay your quarter.
That's it,
You
get the
burn your
quarter.
leather on the floor, boy, and grab anybody's daughter.
Except
the
my
roof is
daughter.
rocking, the neighbors are knocking. We're all bums when the wagon comes. I mean, this joint is jumping.
Turn it loose.
Give me the Cody!
Get your big feet bent in that plenty in the kitchen. What is that? They just walked in. Just look at the way it's switching. Oh, mercy. Don't mind now, cause I'm in power. I got bails to go to jail. I mean, this joint is jumping. Yeah. Oh, don't ever give your right name. No, don't ever do that. I mean, this joint is jumping. Yeah.
Yeah, he drunk. want you back. La 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 la, can't turn me away. Believe in your heart, hey, I always want to stay. You can't turn me away. I believe in your heart, hey, I always want to stay. You can't turn me away. I believe in your heart, I always want to stay. I believe in your heart, hey, come on, come on. Love is can be cold, electric particles, down to the minute old. Tickle, tickle, equal stroke. I love your follicles. I know you heard it all. You know that I am still just how you want to feel. Ooh, dropped your knife, scooped it up, put it in my side. I'll be your robot girl. Come into me, my world. Boy, let me drop your predator. Hey, 'cause money, I want you back. La 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 la, can't turn me away. Believe in your heart, I always want to stay. Always want to stay. Get money away. Get money. I believe in your heart, I always one more time, always want to stay. Get money away. I believe in your heart, I always want to stay. Can't turn me away. I believe in your heart, I always want to stay. Do you have that number to that other bass player? But I ain't missing with the 555-1-2-2-7-8-9-9-9-11-12-12-12.
That was pretty. Y'all was right.
Loving you is wonderful. It's something like a miracle. Rest assured, I feel the same way you do. Needing you, it isn't hard. With you, I can't let down my guard. Stay secure, that's all I'm asking of you. Stay secure. I wish I had words to tell this feeling that I know so well, but I don't. I don't. All that I can say, all that I can say, all that I can say, all that I can say. I've always been curious, needing someone serious, looking for someone who loves like me. But the day I stopped my search, it seemed to you I put on blur to show me everything I could not see. I wish I could find a way to tell you how I felt that day, but I can't.